Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how certain beings around you will be able to hide the details, but they cannot hide and mask the energy. You know what I mean? We are all spiritual beings having a human experience, whether you like it or not. Unless you a robot, you know what I'm saying, or you got cloned or duplicated in some weird way, because it is all kind of stuff like that happening out here. I just particularly don't dive into it as much because it's not something that's gonna help my neighbors or people around me immediately in their immediate situations. You know what I mean? But beings being able to hide details and not being able to hide the energy, you know what I mean? Meaning, someone may have a diary, right? And they keep a lot of, things that people keep in diaries. Notes, thoughts, just whatever they want to put down, right? You don't have to know what exactly they're writing down, every word, syllable per se, to understand the energy that they are taking to their journal when they pick it up. You know what I mean? We at a day and age where everything you turn on, even to the basic movies you turn on, are now talking about meditation and yoga and self-awareness and healing and all of this shit. So it's kind of putting people in a position to either feel more shittier, or you're going to be using these tools to elevate yourself. You know what I mean? And you're going to find yourself in positions out here where you are a being who wears your energy and your emotions on your sleeve, but then you have, basically, you're the being who walks around with the diary and you have it open. You don't mind sharing your thoughts and energy with people. Hey, I was writing in my diary, this is what I wrote up, you know what I'm saying? But then on the other hand, you got the other beings who write in their diary and they like, oh, this is a secret. This is a secret. You know what I mean? And they'll tell you something that, oh yeah, I was writing something nice and lovely and joyful, but if that's the case, they wouldn't need to hide it. And it's not like you're asking to see it anyways. These are just examples to use as far as how people are masking. People are masking. It is a lot of masking, and beings are trying to hide. And the more we shine that light on these motherfuckers trying to hide, the easier it is for the next beings that have to deal with them. You know what I mean? A lot of people would say like, oh, you dealing with a demon, you dealing with narc, get away from him. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta go gray rock, gray fence, you gray tree. You gotta do all these things, you know what I mean, to get away. And when you process it, it's like, you can get away, but if you care about this realm and what happens in this realm, then you know that this entity that was just in your space that tried to hurt you, imagine how many people they hurt before you, and then imagine how many people will be lined up to be hurt after you. You know what I mean? At some point in time, somebody got to draw the line. I was one of them people that was younger in school, and it was like, I done stepped up for plenty of people that I didn't even know personally, just because the situation was unbalanced and it wasn't justified, and the other means actions that these other people was taking to bully up over on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? If you're a bully out here in these streets, you gotta see me hands up. I promise you that. I don't give a damn if I know that the next handicapped person that's being bullied or not. I don't care if it's a female trying to do the other bullying. I won't have to intervene physically with any physical things happening, you know what I'm saying? But even verbalizing, that shit is not okay, or interjecting however I see best fit the situation, it's gonna happen, right? But you have situations where a lot of us are still living in with beings, and if we wasn't living in with beings before, some of us then had to move in. If you're in the Western world, it is a mixing pot, you know what I mean? Like, everybody just not in the best positions. That's just how it's cut up. I don't care what motherfuckers look like on the outside. I don't care what they look like on the outside. Every person I see on the outside that look like they doing okay is really shitty spiritually. In my personal lifetimes, in my present personal spaces, it's like the people who are more stable, physically, financially, all these things, these are the ones who are zombie robots. These are the ones who are not going anywhere or doing anything. They aren't trying to better themselves. They aren't trying to better the community. They aren't trying to lift the vibration of this realm here, you know what I mean? So it's the beings who become complacent in the dollar bill, you know what I mean? Which is, it's easy. It's easy to do, you know what I mean? But we all gotta go. So even if you find yourself in this realm during this time and you do have that financial struggle that a lot of us have in the Western society, especially with them upping the prices, you know, it's bad enough that shit was already with you, but now they're even upping the prices more. So you really have to become more solidified in your belief system, or it's gonna have you scrounging and scraping and doing things you weren't expecting for a couple dollars, you know what I mean? So, and now all that comes down to masking what's really going on the inside, you know what I mean? Once you start digging and diving deeper and figuring out what is all this clutter going on in your space, why you trying to process things and it's not operating the way you want it to operate, or why you keep getting all these weird energies around you. Some people try to say you attract this shit, but I'm a firm believer in it's your environment. Like, I'm gonna attract all 10 demons if there's all 10 demons around me, so you can put it that way, but it's not a whole lot of, you know, the other stuff out here. And in the other stuff that is out here, hey, we getting so tampered with and diluted. We fighting to keep our shit as potent and as honest and as, you know, following the natural flow as much as possible, you know what I mean? And following the natural flow does mean that you have to be able to stand firm like a tree, you know? You do have to be able to soar high like an eagle. You do have to be able to fight like a lion, you know what I'm saying? All of these things go hand in hand with following the natural flow of things. So a lion doesn't need to hear another lion to feel its energy. It can just feel the presence, you know what I mean? So it's no different when you have people around you choosing to be in low vibrational states, you know what I mean? So the next time you're in the car with somebody, or you just vibing with somebody in the house in front of the TV, on the couch, you know, outside on the decks and shit, you know, process your energy and your thoughts, because we always do. And then if you happen to want to dive in their world, pay attention to how it makes you feel. You know what I mean? Because you either growing or you're dying. There is no stalemate. There is no in between. You know what I mean? So it's only those two options. We need to make this thing more simplified for ourselves and stop complicating it. Because we already got enough battles as it is out here. You have enough battles. And the more you level up, the bigger and the harder the battles become. So whatever you can tend to make easier for yourself, that's what you do. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, all the food out here in trash. I don't, people like, oh, don't eat pig, don't eat cow, don't eat chicken. It's like, well, I can go eat grapes, berries, and watermelon, and all of that shit tastes like trash. It tastes like trash. There's no way in hell that when I go grab some fruit, that every single time I get watermelon, it tastes different. Every time I get strawberries, each strawberry batch keep fucking tasting different. Like, it's grown in the same areas. It's not getting shipped from that many different places around the world. You know what I'm saying? So clearly we all understand that. They are chemically injecting this stuff, and a lot of this stuff is made up in the lab. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't no indoor lab, it's outdoor lab. So it's just understanding these things is what's going to help in the long haul. You know what I mean? People, when they try to sit around you silent, you have to understand that there's still an energy being projected. You know, silence doesn't mean that everything is okay and everything is good. You know, I sit in some people's silences and I feel lifted. It makes me feel like I should be doing something, you know. I sit in some people's energies and make me feel really relaxed. which is very seldom, but I have experienced it. Being in some energies is just really relaxing, you know, soothing to the point to where you may be around somebody like, oh shit, I done dozed off and took a nap, and you may be one of them people who don't ever sleep outside of your normal space, you know what I'm saying, your bed or your house or however you do things, you know what I'm saying, but the energy is still being projected, you know, and then what you are spending the most time processing is what you're reflecting out here. I'll sit for 15 minutes and a demon will sit for 15 minutes, right? Say me and a demon sit side by side, 15 minutes. In my 15 minutes, I'm gonna get up, I'm like, oh, okay, boom. These ideas have struck me, it jumped me up right away, and now I'm putting them into action. The demon, on the other hand, is sitting in that space for those 15 minutes, and most likely, they're probably gonna have their head down, they're probably gonna be moping, pouting, just all of those vibrations that are a reminder and a reflection that they are not in the highest space, and they not trying to fight to the highest space. The thing is with pushing to a better vibration is like, I'll feel like a shitty dad if my mini comes around and then I'm in an extremely shitty mood and she's excited. She's really good at reading energy, you know what I'm saying? So if I don't figure out how to fix my shit from the inside, she's gonna notice, and then that's gonna affect her movements. It's no different than how we process this with adults, you know what I'm saying? We are affected by the energies around us, because you're either moving around in defense mode or you're moving around in protection mode. But in the Western world, most of us are not really moving around real relaxed. You know, that's not the process. And if you are, you're gonna lose your head, legs, fingers, and toes, all of the above, you know what I mean? So you get caught slipping if you want to. Most of us done live long enough that shit, we already know the process of getting caught slipping. Shit, as soon as you get caught slipping, here go a leg. Oh my God, I thought you was with me. Here come a knife in the back. Oh my God. Now you sitting here trying to figure out how to get your leg together. You trying to get the knife out your back, but they done put it in such a good spot that you cannot get it yourself. Now you need somebody else to help you. It's just a small sign to show that we all need each other. Even if we say we're doing it by ourselves, we need each other. There's no way that I could ever put myself in a space saying, yeah, I did it all by myself, when clearly you guys are your own individuals. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was standing up here in front of the camera before, but it's not in a situation to where, okay, boom, this, even if you make a product, you still need customers, you still need consumers, you know what I'm saying? So have to understand, we all need each other. You have to know that, okay, are you using these other energies for something positive and productive, or are you using these energies for something selfish? I'm gonna let this plane go. Of these energies that's available, these demonic demons are using it for selfish reasons. So when people are randomly throwing out blanket statements that's negative or low vibration, or selfish statements that's low vibration, or ignorant statements that's low vibration, you have to understand that these demons was living and thinking in this space for a long time, either for a couple hours prior before saying it, or a couple weeks prior to saying it. And usually with the demons, they so secretive about everything, you know. They probably had already been sitting on it for a week or two, or maybe even a month or so, you know. They usually are not the beings that's going to start addressing shit as it happens or as it appears. If anything, they're going to project really weird energy, like huffing and puffing, stomping, slamming, banging stuff around, making loud noises, and just all the other weak shit that they do, you know what I mean? But we already know how they fly, and these are just some tactics to keep us lined up and in tune with what's happening. You know, you don't have to be talking to create a vibration. We already know mute people out here. We know deaf people out here. You know what I'm saying? And now it's a bunch of dead people out here walking around. Shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't want to run up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.